About us, we were founded back in 2001. Our co-founders, Brad and Jonathan, are still with the company, still fully invested. And what they did is they saw an opportunity. They saw an opportunity that there wasn't a technology in the franchise space at the time that allowed people to manage the customer experience. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Whether you're an independent dealer or a franchise dealer, is how do I engage a consumer, get them into a vehicle of their choice or a payment of their choice, and then hopefully do business with them or their family and friends someday in the future. So they took that vision and they launched us into the automotive space in 2002, October to be exact. From that perspective, we've been a growing company, and part of a growing company is just growing because of the dealer base. Growth is an amazing thing because the feedback and the advancement of our technology is about 90% dealer driven. So if you were a dealer that was on our product back in 2002, because about 90% of the dealers that start with us don't leave us, they've been giving us input on what we should change and enhance from that point on. We started the same thing 3 years ago with the independent dealers, still getting that constant feedback. And so the product that I used 9 years ago or 3 years ago, depending on whether I'm an independent or a franchise dealer, is drastically different, but it's all dealer driven. The other part there is employee base, right? We believe we have this kind of master recipe, because why do we have great retention? Well, it's because we've been retaining customers based on our proactive support model. So you think about that, and I'm not saying that we don't have growing pains, we have growing pains, but we have a recipe, kind of a, you call it your grandma's favorite recipe that she doesn't want to give out to anyone. We have that exact same recipe. It's all based on growth. So if we grow X amount of dealers, we know exactly how many support people, trainers, sales individuals, tier 1 support, engineers, all the people that go along with that, and how much time it takes to train them and get them prepared to do their job. So once we kind of finalize that recipe over the first 6 years, now we can kind of grow without having some of the pains that we experienced early on in the company. We'll talk about some of this in a second. So dealer perspective, right? We have a little bit over 2,500 independent dealers / buy here, pay here dealers that use the product. And that's not necessarily the CRM, it's not just AutoStar, it's not just Finance Express, it's the three combined. And then we also have a website company called Dealer Fire, which also has some independent customers that aren't using one of the other products or services. But that's been our growth. So that recipe and mastering that recipe over the first 6 years is what was necessary for us to be able to grow to this expense and not have it hurt the dealers. So how do we do that? Part of it's being innovative in all three categories. The product itself on the far right, the technology, right? We're a cloud-based technology. Today, one of our brands is not cloud-based, and we're making all the efforts necessary to move the AutoStar brand into the cloud. So we can access whatever we have access to the web, we can access AutoStar. We'll talk about that more in a second. Also being more mobile first, right? If you can't do it on your phone, then you're probably not going to be able to do it 3 or 4 or 5 years from now, because that's where things are headed. From a process perspective, right, that's the part that's always evolving. The way we do business today versus the way we did business 3 years ago is drastically different. The way we handle leads, the way we handle people when they come and do the meet and greet, the way that we finance them is different. Will it be different 2 years from now? Yes. So part of being innovative, right, is we have to change with the way that dealers and people buy and sell cars, or service cars. And a lot of our competitors, right, are not putting enough R&D into the center to ensure that their technology is helping with the advancement of the way people are interacting with the dealership. And last of all, on the far left is the people, right? We at Dealer Socket believe we have to invest in the people that we hire. So yeah, it's a long, arduous training process, but we spend 12 weeks trying to get them to understand the market. We hire some that are not from the automotive industry, some that are from the automotive industry. It doesn't matter. We still put them through the same training to ensure that they understand how our brand works within the automotive industry. We're going to hope that someday everyone's going to want to convert, but at the end of the day, we're not going to turn it off and have it so you have to, or force you to switch over. We have no desire to turn off either of the current products. Now, you think of it from a resource perspective, just because we don't want to give you false information. Resource-wise, we have about 170 engineers at Dealer Socket today, and we're growing that part of the business. Either one of the existing companies before they became part of Dealer Socket had 8 to 6. And so are all those working on the IDMS brand? No, but we have a team today of about 14. We're adding a third team of 7, which will get us up in the mid-20s, that will be working specifically on the IDMS brand.
We want to ensure that what we develop is highly integrated. And what we've seen with both of the systems that we have today, we've seen some nuance to the system and we've seen some weakness in the system. And our ambition is to eliminate that weakness in the system and identify how we can make a highly integrated service solution that is yet to be seen.
Our goal, we recognize there's value there, and if that data has a relevant value, we will do our best to transition it in and make sure it's there. Absolutely.
And we're not doing this in a vacuum, right? We've got our own ideas on what we think we should have, but we're also talking to dealers all the time. We just did a road show last week with the executive management, talking to a variety of different dealers. So there were things resident that they saw that they really wanted to maintain. Some things that they were like, wish I could have. So to be sure, we're not doing this in a vacuum. We're eliciting help, comments, and suggestions from those that are our clients. And certainly if you have any, Jeff and I are both on the product side, and anything we can do, we're all ears. We're listening.
You know, the most important thing of all these integrations is that they've got to be web-based. So today, AccountMate is not a web-based product, and so, but their release of a web-based accounting system is imminent. So when that comes out, then I think the engineers will look at that, and you know, the goal again is the number one most important thing is any product that we support has to be web-based. When it is, then we'll explore the possibility of an integration.
The first thing that we're trying to do from a dealer socket standpoint is understand the benefits of both product lines. And so most of that's been done internally. We're looking to see what is being used and seeing how much is getting used or how the relevancy is. So, you know, there's parts of their system that are getting used heavily, parts that are not getting used at all, and figuring that part out from both, and then deciding what platform can we move that all over to from both perspectives to allow for this IDMS, with the whole time, right, still operating those businesses as they're operated today.